And welcome back aboard Blur Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things pop superhero and our pop culture media. And that's, of course, movies, TV shows, video games, comic books. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into today's podcast, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. Y'all, we are in the throes of superhero summer. The heat can go to hell because it feels like hell. Because we're all up in the movie theater watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's what we are talking about today. It is mandatory. We both went and saw it yesterday. We are hyped and ready to talk about that. And for some reason, they decided they want to keep dropping other things. Like My Adventure with Superman got a new episode. X-Men 97 has a new episode. And today, Batman Cape Crusader Season 2, all of it dropped today. I will go ahead and say we didn't have time to watch that. So we will talk about that next week. So it's going to be a big deal. We'll talk about it all next week. But before we get into all of that and the news and everything this week, we have to say what's up to our resident Reed Richards hater, comic books aficionado, and new Patreon publisher. I'm very proud of her on this. So that's, of course, Polly Comics. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Like you said, like all this nerdy stuff has been happening. We've been going out to see things, watching things at home, talking about things online. We've been writing like about everything, and of course, reading comics. I did not read as many as I wanted to, but like pretty much just short stories. I'm not going to talk about that. But otherwise, it's been a pretty packed week. It's great. And Reed still sucks, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Even though I will say, because I didn't put this in the preface too, that we had San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
And so we are going to talk about Comic Con. It wasn't as big as it has been in the past, but Marvel dropped some pretty big stuff in Hall H. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Your boy Pedro Pascal was in attendance. So was a lot of people at that Hall H thing. It was a ton of people. Pedro Pascal is up there, as I like to say, the Reed that's really hard to hate. He's playing that one Reed that you're just like
hard, but not impossible.
You're like I'll do it. Like it's hard, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. Very interesting. They dropped
easy path is for like simple people. I'm not gonna do the easy things.
Oh, and I want to draw attention to the fact that, again, guess what? I'm repping Spidey today. That's what
I actually
made sure.
Same, because I did like my eyes red and blue, if you can see it, and I'm wearing red and blue, and that there is a reason for that.
Nice. I got my Marvel T-shirt on, so you can't see it, but I'm wearing it.
Can't argue with perfection.
I mean, this is a bit. Look. Let's not linger too much on all this because we got a lot of shit to talk about. So, what did you get up to that was nerdy this week?
Read some comics, went to a theater, just been around, been following all the news from San Diego Comic Con. Have I been jealous of the people who got to go? Yes. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Shout out to Megan of Vigilante Vibes and Nerd Initiative. She writes for Nerd Initiative also. Shout out to her that she got to go out there. I'm trying to think. There's a few other people that we follow.
Yeah, Black Girl Nerds.
Yeah, well, obviously Jamie's going to show up.
Obviously, yeah.
But I think the Nerd Initiative crew showed out there.
Yeah, they went. Mm-hmm.
Did I Don't Beat Games go? I can't remember. I think Alexis.
I think
Alexis Cordero definitely went. So there was a good representative of our little corner of the internet. I was very.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't even want to say jealous because like I couldn't.
I'm proud of them.
Like, yeah, I'm Megan. She's the one I'm really happy about that because like she's plugging away in her channel and a nerd initiative, and like it's a love. This is a lifelong love for her. So I bet that was dope. So dope to get out there, and I think she even made it to Hall H with it. I mean, come on, like that was a. I understand you
Yeah.
had to wait for like 6 hours to get in, not to get the ticket,
Honestly,
to get in.
honestly, I I mostly admire people who did wait to get in, because I wouldn't. I just wouldn't do it. Too much to see, too much to do. That's why I like the event. I'm very excited to maybe if one day I get to go, it would be cool and great. But like all this waiting around, I don't want to do that. Mm-mm.
It's a lot.
Like either I go on the stage and like present something. Marvel, like take notes. I've had a really great speech about Black Panther and Storm recently, so take notes.
Hmm.
Or I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm wavering on it, but maybe one day. Your Patreon drop. You launched it this past week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope everyone gets a chance to
It's
go out there and join it. I think there's a free tier, which is that's very generous of you.
yeah.
I'm gonna be the supportive friend, so I'm giving you actual money every month. So you're welcome.
Thank
I
you.
just
Thank you. Like I'm gonna write there, obviously long reads, which is my favorite format, but I'm not above making videos. I think I'm actually thinking about making some. So hopefully.
Yeah, I'm there for it. I'm glad you've taken this step, and I want everyone to go read and support and say something
Read
nice.
on
So
read.
yes, you got all yes hating on read. That's not what it's called, but it should be the colon
It's
hate
gonna
on
be a
read.
big part of it.
Let's see what I do this. Not too much this week. I work a lot. I keep telling you all this. But I did watch a couple movies. I watched the Avatar Aang movie. Finally, loved it. Is
It
it
was
weird
great.
that I was like, I can't wait till the Netflix people do the live action version of this. I was like, this.
Did you go to the theater?
No, because it's not available. It was not available in my town.
Ah,
It
oh,
was only,
okay.
it was only showing in 2 theaters in the United States, and they were only doing it so it would get awards consideration. Because Paramount sucks and they don't like animation, they don't like theatrical animation. They hate on it, which is too bad. I'm actively mad that I didn't see this at the theater. I would have gone to the theater to watch this. I watched it with my daughter, and we both said the same thing. Like, why the hell wasn't this in the theater? It was supposed to be. You could tell it was supposed to be in a theater because of how it's sort of like structured and its pacing and everything like that. This was meant to be a theatrical event, but it's still really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I hope they make more. And actually, it's gotten me ready to watch Legend of Korra, so I can be ready for the Seven Havens show that's coming out in October. So I've got it's like 52 episodes. I got to watch a lot of it really fast. I also rewatched the original X-Men movie. My daughter's doing her homework for Doomsday, and so we watched
About
it.
damn time.
She's seen it before, but
You mean
yeah,
the first one, right?
yeah, the Bryan Singer, the first one from 2000. She's seen it, but she didn't remember it, and which I was like, that's fair. You saw it a long time ago. Let's watch it again. And let me tell you, that thing has aged. That movie has aged. I look. I have an affinity for it. I have a fondness for it because I saw it when it came out, and I was a big X-Men fan, and it was the best thing going at the time. That movie has aged a bit. And
But
you could see it's pre the abundance of CG, the VFX, computer VFX, the abundance of it was not there in '99 when they filmed this. So it's almost entirely practical. Like the only things that I think were not practical was Mystique's transformations and like what's his name Senator Kelly's no his
oh yeah,
dissolution.
yeah,
So, but that was
yeah.
at the time that was the best thing that they could do as far as CG. Everything else almost is to it. Everything is almost exactly practical, and it looks like it. Unfortunately, for better or for worse, its age. Which
Oh
is
well,
yeah.
it's still pretty watchable. I mean, I don't know.
No,
To
it's
me,
not that I
it's
don't like
watchable.
it.
I don't notice these things, and there is also the main question, like, do you know what happens to a toad that's struck by lightning?
That it's you know what my daughter noticed. She was like Storm, and I told her before. I was like, I'm just warning you, Storm's going to get sidelined a lot in this, and it because it really should. You know what the movie should have been called? Wolverine and the X-Men, because that's what the fucking movie is. Wolverine plus some X-Men. Um, Storm being sidelined is maybe the biggest travesty of the entire X-Men trilogy, but in particular this movie. She should have been front and center. She's the most badass and most interesting person, and they made her essentially a 2D, kind of a 2D cardboard cutout
She's
of
just
a
there.
character. Yeah, she's a background character for no good reason. Um, but you know what? I still like it. And we're gonna continue our homework as we get ready for Doomsday. But yeah, that was about it. I didn't even have time to play any video games this week. I got things to do. So with that being said, we're not gonna do any too much preambles. We're gonna talk about the news, which was significant, but Spider Man. We ain't got we gotta get to it. So we're gonna get through the
We
news.
ain't got all day.
We're gonna get to the news real quick. So let's go ahead. You ready? Ready to hop into this? Let's go. All right. First news that came out yesterday, and I'm mad. It's damn it, Marvel. Wonder Man has been canceled. You know what? Yeah, you ruined it all. You had everything right there. You had it right there. They've even nominated, this show for Emmys and stuff like that. And then they said, yeah, if the viewership's good, we'll greenlight season 2. Then they greenlit it like a couple weeks after it came out, because you and I and all the other fans were rewatching this shit and recommending it. There was so much buzz for this online, and they were like, "We're gonna do season 2," and fans rejoiced. And then on the day that Spider-Man drops in the theaters, they say we're canceling this. Wild, ridiculous. I hate it, and yet I understand why. I will get into that in a second. But what are your feelings about this? The untimely demise.
Obviously, obviously, I hate it, but I mean, the most annoying thing is that, like you said, they said that if we watch it, they'll give us more. We watched it. They gave us more. And then they like, sake, no. Who the fuck does that?
Marvel Studios.
Yes, true, true. I don't know. I feel it feels like a betrayal. It feels like a very asshole move, and it feels like something that probably has something to do with the way America is right now. I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
sure. I
seems very targeted. Seems very targeted and very specific, and I hate that.
yeah.
And everybody else should be hating that too. And also, don't let all the news, all the casting news, and all the Spider-Man news distract you from what is happening, because they're gonna
Exactly.
snatch more stuff away from us.
Well, I think people are suggesting Marvel, hashtag Marvel so white, not the comics, but
Yeah,
Marvel
but this
Studios. This is look, this is big surprise, because usually when they say they're going to do something, they do it, right? Um,
well,
well,
do they
and yet,
wait?
well, I'm saying, and yet, there seems to be a pattern of. I'm not saying, look, correlation doesn't equal causation, but this is a suspicious pattern. um, this, we just found out about Blade not going anywhere, and there's even a article today where Marshall Ali is talking about, like, hey, they had the money, I was on contract, we could have done it, and they didn't want to do it. All right, Blade. um, they just drop all of Ironheart at one time, and they're just like, here you go,
No
no real
promotion, nothing.
promo. Same thing for Wakanda Forever. Not Wakanda Forever.
Eyes of
Eyes of
Wakanda.
Wakanda. Same deal for Eyes of Wakanda. Um, Armor Wars is announced and then gets canceled. It was a TV series, then it was a movie, then it's just canceled straight up. Um, I feel like I'm missing one. which one? Which show am I missing? I,
Iron Heart,
I s-
you mentioned.
well,
Well,
either way, all these shows with black characters and black leads, and I'll even throw Miss Marvel in there because there ain't no fucking reason for that. There should be a season 2 of that, but Bit should have been one, and I guess they were trying to transition her into the movies with the Marvels. But the point here stands that it looks like they are balancing pressure from external pressure in the culture wars to get not so many black people in there. Ike Perlmutter was loudly against putting more women and people of color into leading roles. Um, Perhaps because he's a right wing piece of shit, but also probably sensing that in this moment in time when you got the chuds and the right wing being so anti woke as anti woke, aka racism, um, being racist, they they got a really loud voice, and as I was saying when we were talking about this on Discord, there's a very they're a loud contingent, but they get listened to because they're white dudes. And white guys are the first people catered to in this country, in America. They're the first people catered to. And when they complain about shit, shit happens. And I think I even said something about this when we were talking about DC So White. Remember when we were talking about DC So White, and I was like, this isn't a black people problem because we show up. We showed up for Wonder Man. We remember it's not because at first it was just us black nerds, and like some other Marvel nerds that were tuned in, and they were like, wait a minute, this shit is like fire. And then we started pushing it to non-nerds and just be like, y'all need to just watch this shit. So other black people in the culture outside of nerd culture started pushing it too. Black people showed up, right?
and you know what? Just in general, I know that we're all in an echo chamber or something, but in this very specific space. But there is more and more of black nerds showing up. It's people who like fantasy or superheroes, right? They all come together. They all show up for these things. They all share some interests, and there is a lot of us.
right.
Uh, like a whole lot. You every day I see people looking for other people who are in the same boat. But still, seeing how everything, like every effort, every step gets ignored, it feels like I said that today on Discord. It feels like we're gonna have to once again like start from square one and
Hmm.
fight inch by inch to like put people back, like our people and other minorities back into leading roles,
Hmm.
because it feels like it does feel like we're losing it, because look at the projects
Yeah,
being announced.
exactly. Well, as
We'll
they,
talk about this, of
yeah.
course, later, but still, it's kind of hard to ignore.
Yeah, well, and as I've said, and this is a kind of a byword in America. I don't know about where you're from, but it's last hired, first fired. That's when
Yeah,
that's how
it's
black people.
everywhere.
Yeah, but for in America, it's black people. The last people, then they finally be like, fine, we'll get a black person in here, and as soon as there's budget problems, they're the first one to get let go, right? So there's the anti woke, anti DEI push, even if Feige and them aren't explicitly saying it, they have pressure from above to do, because like, to give Feige and them credit, they greenlit all this shit. Like they did. They greenlit all of these things when money was good and things looked like they were looking up. They did it in the midst of the Trump presidency and then Biden era too. And the blowback has been significant from certain parts of the fandom. But like I said, these things can't
From the
survive.
smeller,
Yeah,
of course.
but these things require. I'm sorry, they require white people to be successful. There's like in America, the president of the United States can't get elected solely on non-white people votes. It's impossible. It's not a real thing. You need a certain amount of white people to show up, and that's true for this stuff too. The other thing is, I'm gonna give them a bit of leeway. TV on streaming makes no money. It's a money loser. Like you don't make money like that. If I think I was talking to my friend, he was like, "Well, this that makes sense because if they wanted to make money on it, they should have put it on FX, like the cable channel that Disney owns. Put it on FX. Then you can sell ads and then you make money. But if this is just for streaming, maybe you make a little bit of money on the ad free, but like, it's the money loser. The amount of money you got to spend on these things is way too much. um, the only thing that after that is, but y'all still doing Daredevil though. I understand it's not as much CG, but come on, man. Like, y'all are making sure Daredevil comes out. Just saying. Anyway, I hate this.
Besides, I don't think that Wonder Man was too much CG. It was some CG, but like doesn't
It,
look like it was
it
more
wasn't.
than Daredevil.
No, I don't. I think they spent most of their money on like that final shot. There's like that final
Mm-hmm.
shot where he's flying away, and then that one time he blew some stuff up. That's it. Most of the CG was very, very minimal. So I can't imagine that this was super expensive. I bet Ben Kingsley didn't have a huge salary, and neither did Yahya Abdul-Mateen. So I don't want, and also your boy Destin Daniel Cretton developed the show and directed two episodes. So I don't get this, except there's a pattern, and we can't ignore that. I can't ignore that the black leads are the first ones to get axed and to not be continued. And we may come to a situation where they just don't get offered the roles at all. So I don't know. We're gonna keep an eye on this. I talked about this longer than I meant to. So sorry. uh, a bit of casting news very, very quickly. Samara Weaving is joining the MCU as Emma Frost, which I think is a good pick. I mean, look, out of all those blonde white women that look the same, they all they couldn't get Margot Robbie. So let's get the Margot Robbie, what do they call it, dime store or Margot Robbie, which is not an insult against Samara Weaving, by the way. I think she's great. I really liked Ready or Not. She was the only thing I've seen her is Ready or Not. She was briefly in Scream 6. Was that right? Scream 6, the one, whatever.
I don't know.
She got
I stopped following Screams a long time ago.
she got killed like in the first scene, but whatever. She's very good. She's blonde and white, so I mean, those are two. She's blonde and white and pretty, which are pretty much the requirements for Emma Frost.
Which is interesting considering like what era they gonna adapt with her, because Emma Frost she's not been everywhere. She's been like, well, questions. All I'm gonna say is I have questions.
Yeah, we got
and
her.
The timing.
Didn't we get her in Days of Future Past or something like? She was in one. She was in the one with Kevin Bacon in it, but not her obviously. But so now we know we're getting Emma Frost, which is she going to be a villain?
It's weird.
Well, it's interesting because is she going to be a villain? Is she going to be the headmistress of of the X Academy? What is she doing? Is she the White Queen of the Hellfire Club? We don't know. You're right. The era that she is being presented will be very interesting. Is she going to be the Mystique of this series? Because Mystique kind of had she kind of like worked the whole hot girl angle for the original X-Men series. I don't know. That's my thing. It's who knows. But I think it's a good bit of casting, and I think it's also interesting considering what happened in Spider-Man that they are starting to like roll out these mutant casting announcement. I saw something about possibly a couple others, but I didn't get any confirmation, so I didn't want to talk about it. Anyway, we got Emma Frost. You're the X-Men expert around here. How you feeling?
Don't know anything. Haven't seen her in anything. Actually, I was gonna watch Ready or Not or Ready or Not 2 because like Sarah Michelle Gellar was posting about it because she was in the second part, and that's what I was gonna watch. So I don't know anything about this actress, and as far as I know, this is like just reported by Deadline, so it's not 100%, but it's like close to it, because Marvel hasn't confirmed anything yet. But I mean, I have huge questions, like a lot of questions. I don't see um starting place where in which M is already present, but then again I could be wrong and they could be doing something entirely new like we kind of assume they're doing. So I don't know about that, but I'm excited. It kind of like mm, makes me excited, but cautiously excited to learn more about who's gonna be there in that movie and
Hmm.
if they're gonna have Storm at all in that,
Oh, if they
or
don't have
any
Storm,
other black
if
characters.
they don't, you know how, if they don't have Storm in the first X-Men, I'm going to be treating Marvel Studios the way you treat what's the name
Marvel
of
Rivals.
yeah, Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna be like, you guys, we go
Worse.
we're gonna be we're mortal enemies right now. So
But also, see, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because, uh, you know why.
if that happens, we're
Also,
go
if we
yeah.
watch the movie and it turns out that Storm is done dirty again, I'm gonna straight up
Yeah, we're
riot.
gonna do it. Look, DC got the horns, and we're gonna talk about the how that worked. And Marvel can get that shit too. Like we can give them hell. I'm not saying there, there's enough of us that because DC Comics is different than DC Studios, and Marvel Comics is different from Marvel Studios. But that don't mean we can't give them hell about it. Let me find out Storm ain't in X-Men. Let me find out. It's gonna be on because we're not gonna play with our goddess, the Storm goddess, at all. Either way, cool news. Glad to see some movement, and we will, keep an eye on more casting announcements as they come out. Um, I was just talking about DC getting the horns. So at San Diego Comic Con, they just wrapped up over last week. We missed it because it was all this stuff was going on while we were recording, so we didn't get to talk about this, but we had great news because the DC So White campaign, at least in part, had something to do with the announcements of 3 new ongoing black led comic books coming out of DC. And they are Vixen by Stephanie Williams, uh, was it Static by Cody Ziegler, and I'm trying to remember the other guy's name that's doing Steel. So my bad. I cannot remember the guy's name, which is funny because he 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 like he commented on something that I said about this, and then I followed him, so I should know this guy. Whatever. Another one is coming out. So we get Steel, Vixen, and Static. Um, they are ongoing. They're not limited series. Apparently, Static and um, Vixen were in the works probably for over half a year now. So there was a whole dust up on there about that Ernie was like, he's like, you guys are welcome, talking about DC So White, and then there was a whole dust up about that. It was a back and forth. Like, I have to be honest, I don't give a shit about whether or not DC So White can take any credit. I can tell you one thing: it didn't have zero effect. There's no way it had
That's
zero
absolutely,
effect.
I absolutely believe that it had an effect because this got people talking, this got people noticing things, and it got attention, and that's what's important.
Yeah,
So I would give them all the credit. I wouldn't argue about that. Just like I
yeah,
will personally take credit if Rivals adds another female black superhero.
right,
Uh, I'm not even gonna pretend that I didn't have anything to do with this because,
right,
like, to the best of my ability, I do what I can,
right.
and they did what they could, and I think that like this blackout thing was quite scary in general for DC. I hope it was. So yeah, we
Even if
should
yeah,
black out more things.
yeah, I think even if it didn't monetarily or materially actually affect their bottom line, it's perception. Sometimes perception is more important than reality,
Hmm.
at least in the minds of people. Because you don't, like,
Well.
they don't want to be perceived as being
If the
racist, right?
True, and if the grifters use it constantly, like they create an image of there being like legions of them. There are no legions of them, but we can do the same thing absolutely. And there is, I'm sure, there is more of us than this vocal trolls. So
Yeah. Where so it's
even though my purchasing of comics of DC comics does not affect this
yeah,
anyway.
it's
That's
one
on DC, by the way.
it's
That's their
again,
fault.
yeah, it's just the purchasing thing, but like not the purchasing of it is fine. It's the perception of a problem. It goes away now. They didn't just announce one, they announced three. So they can be like, all right, fine, shut up. It ball's in your court. Which, to be fair, the ball is in our court, and I said, hey, I'm gonna support these. I already support. I don't buy ongoing comics. I'm just not. I don't do that anymore. But I will be buying these. Stephanie Williams, I like her very much. I follow her. I'm always cheering when she's got
Rooting for her, yeah. And she's
wins
got a
and
lot of things going
yeah,
on.
she's got a lot of plates spinning, so to speak. But I'm happy for her and definitely gonna be supporting this. I don't know Cody Ziegler, but you know what? Fine. If people have been co-signing him for a while on my feed, so cool. And the Steel one, I'm like again, I'm just gonna show up. So I want everyone else. If you give a shit about DC So White, if you cared about the blackout, if you just been like, yeah, that is kind of weird. They ain't got no black ongoings, but they got 17 Batman titles. Buy these motherfucking books. Go buy. I'm committing to buy 3 books a month, even though I don't like going to the comic shop and I don't want to buy monthly comics. I'm going to do it anyway. Y'all put your money where your mouth is. And I say that especially to the white fans because again, black fans only can't support these titles. It's just true. White people, white men in particular, make up the vast majority of the comic book buying audience. It's just true. So they have to support it too. I'm
Do
not.
they though?
I'm not
Do
saying.
they? Because they always complain about how like they don't like modern comics and they stopped buying them. I constantly see that, and then they discuss them, and I know that they're not buying them. I know that they're getting it from somewhere else. So, do they actually affect the sales as much
Yeah.
as they say they do?
What I guess again, in my eyes, this just seems to be true. This can't be only black people buying it because that's not enough of us. Not enough of us in the audience. And I'm not saying if you don't want to buy these, you're racist or anything. I'm not saying that either. If that's not your shit, you don't give a fuck about those characters, don't worry about it. I'm not saying, but if you halfway care about any of these characters, at least give the first issue a chance and see what's up. Whatever happened to doing, yeah, whatever happened to doing that? Then like this is a number one issue. That's looks like it might be cool. I'll flip through it and maybe I'll give it a shot. It's was it $4? And if it sucks or you don't care for it, cool. You moved on. Um, the last thing I'm gonna say is if you are wanting to support, you got to put in those. You got to put in your pre-order. So make sure you get to your comic shop or your online comic shop or wherever it is that you buy it and pre-order the first issue and however many issues you can pre-order. Do so. So we'll keep an eye on this. And I say we'll review the issues. How about that? Whenever they come out, they have not said when this all is happening, so I'm assuming sometime next year, and we'll talk about it then. There's also at San Diego Comic Con they had the trailer for Lanterns, which I figured we just real quick talk about it. So in Lanterns, they finally revealed the bad guys, the Manhunters, which are apparently shape shifting aliens, and who knows why they're around. They're around killing people, but they're in the middle of nowhere. They're at the Dutton Ranch in Yellowstone, killing people because reasons. Also, we saw Sinestro. We saw a Guardian. We saw finally, I guess, Jon Stewart finally gets to do some Green Lanterning, and apparently Jon Stewart's supposed to be replacing Hal Jordan, which is not what I'm used to with Green Lanterns. Usually they just coexist. Um, and I think Guy Gardner shows up too. So this is, I mean, look, I thought it all looked really cool. I don't know that it made me more excited than I already have been. I'm just ready to see what's going on here. And they're not shying away from the cosmic stuff, so you guys can chill out and don't be worried that they're just going to walk around in plain clothes all day and there's never going to be any green suit or green stuff. It wasn't there even a bit where he made a bottle opener. He used his ring to make a
Yeah,
bottle opener.
yeah, yeah.
That's the most Hal
So
Jordan
it does
shit.
have some light moments.
Yeah, it's definitely there's gonna be some of that. Look, hey, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they do with this. It's coming out at the end of next month. So how do you feel about the trailer?
Loved it. Did I get more excited for it? Yeah, absolutely. Because I kind of keep forgetting about this show. Because it's still sometime in the future. But and I can't say that I'm the hugest Lanterns fan in general. I'm more of a like I do like Jaw, but that's about it. Yeah, I haven't read the rest of them yet. At least not enough. So yeah, but I'm excited because all the characters seem very interesting, and like some of them we know, some of them we don't know. It looks like it's kind of what Secret Invasion could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
really excited
you mean
and
good?
yeah. So yeah, I'm actually really excited for that.
Yeah.
And it also helps that it has a little bit of different tone from everything that we've seen so
Mm-hmm.
far, and I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that.
Even with Guy showing up, he's still a goof, but like he's a little more serious in
I
this.
mean, not intentionally. It's just the way he, looks and acts and lives.
Oh, so everything about him. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't have too much else to say about the trailer. Again, I think it was cool. I liked it. I've already been I think I've hit the peak excitement, so I'm just ready for the show to drop. So we got about a month to wait, and we'll talk about it when it comes out. Other San Diego Comic Con news. This is the Marvel Hall H panel. Highlights of that are look. It wasn't a big, life changing panel. I wouldn't say that. It had some big
Kind of.
news. It had some big news, but like in the past, we've had some ridiculously like charged Hall H panels. But it was good to see Marvel back. They brought out the circus, so to speak. Everybody and their mama that's in in Doomsday was up there, which is crazy. They did announce that Haley Atwell's coming back for to be in Doomsday, which I love. I'm a huge Haley Atwell fan. I have been since, well, a long time, but definitely since the first Avenger. I loved her in First Avenger. Loved her, and I loved her in what was it, Multiverse of Madness. Loved her in Agent Carter. So like, yeah, good to see her back. Also, Ryan Reynolds showed up and he came cosplaying as Deadpool in his X Force costume, and they had a cool, fun little bit between him and Paul Rudd that was really fun. We also found out that Secret Wars is confirmed for next year, and it's the only MCU movie coming out next year, which is something. Like, I'm trying not to
No,
be
it's
too.
not. It's not the only one. Oh, 27. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the only one.
2027. It's the only one
I was
next year.
thinking about 2028 already.
No, yeah, we're gonna
That's
get
the
to that
only one
too.
I care about.
I really that sucks because I guess we got so used to eating well that next year's Marvel's output is the
Well,
lowest.
we're gonna be
Yeah,
dieting.
yeah, it's the lowest it's been in a while. Because we get the one movie plus what a few animated series, and then Daredevil, and that's gonna be it. We're not gonna get anything else. but Marvel's talking about scaling back and focusing on quality over quantity and making sure that
And whiteness over blackness.
I mean, pretty much, but it's a given. I hate to say this, that's a given. Look at who makes the stuff, and look who are the large subset of consumers, and look at who can't get on in life without seeing themselves or someone who looks just like them being at the front and center. The rest of us have to just accept that we're, you know, they're the main characters aren't going to look like us, and we've had to do that our entire lives. But they can't, you know, one movie doesn't feature them, and they're just like they
Yeah,
cry.
they
They're
lose shit.
yeah. It's really well, no, it's really annoying. But I mean, it's a given. That's what's going to happen. So that's what we, they had more stuff. They were featuring Doomsday and all this other stuff. Okay, who cares? What we really care about is, um, Ryan Gosling is Ghost Rider. He came out on the stage and was announced, and they announced Sean Levy, who did Deadpool and Wolverine, and most recently he's done Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. He's going to be the director. Interestingly enough, Ryan Gosling has been talking about wanting to be Johnny Blaze for fucking ever. Like, it's, I don't want to say it's his whole personality, but every time someone asks him about Marvel, he's like, you know what? I'd love to be Ghost Rider. That'd be dope. But apparently he brought this, the pitch for this
On
movie.
himself?
Well, he brought the pitch to Sean Levy. And Sean Levy was like, that's good. Let's go talk to Marvel about it. And Marvel's like, sounds good. Y'all go write it. So that's what they did. So this, this is an interesting turn of events, because they've announced this is coming out in 2028, which is very interesting considering Blade was announced in 2019 and it went nowhere. It went nowhere for 7 fucking years.
Yeah,
But
you know
they can
what?
they can turn this around. They can. Deadpool and Wolverine was conceived, pitched, shot, and released in the same amount of time, and in the same time when they were still trying to figure out the fucking script for Blade.
And they still haven't.
No, and they're not going to. This shit is dead.
Yeah. Uh, really, you said that like we're excited about this news. I'm probably like not at all excited about this news. First of all, I don't really care for Ryan Gosling. Like he's just uninteresting to me. I don't know. It's my personal pet peeve. Why do we have to have two of them? He's the same as Ryan Reynolds. I like don't see the difference.
You know what? I don't know. I don't agree with that, but
okay, but like they're the same person to me, and that's one of the projects about which I want to ask people, like, who asked for this? Like they kept doing to us, because I don't remember seeing anyone asking for a Ghost Rider movie, except for Ryan Gosling apparently, and I don't like him, so who cares what he wants? So yeah, who asked for this?
Yeah, right. Yeah, as you said, Ryan Gosling. This, you know what? I think.
Oh, and because the white man asked for something, Marvel immediately has to answer.
To be fair to Ryan Gosling, he's been really on a good run lately. I mean, he was just in Project Hail Mary. He's very good in it. He's going to be in Star Wars Starfighter. He was in The Fall Guy, which a lot of you people slept on.
I don't see him in Star Wars.
He's going to be a star, a fighter pilot. But he was in the Fall Guy, which was great. Like a lot of y'all slept on that so hard. That's a really good movie. And of course, he was Knuff. He was Knuff for us.
Are they trying to replace Oscar Isaac with him?
I don't think so. I think they're just gonna sideline Moon Knight. But there's
Moon Knight, he just mysteriously disappeared. Panther took him away.
There is rumors of a Midnight Suns movie potentially, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Ryan Gosling.
No, that's not happening.
Ryan Gosling he's in a position of He is. You're right. Ryan Reynolds. They're not the same person, right? They're both Canadian white dudes who are generally liked. That being
Same
said,
person.
Ryan Reynolds, I think, is Ryan Gosling. I think is a better actor. He's done more interesting things recently. Um, and but kind of like Ryan Reynolds, if he shows up at Marvel Studios and says, "Hey, I got this idea," Feige's going to listen. His star is too bright right now to ignore or to kind of push him to the side. And to be fair, also,
Mahershala Ali had an Oscar.
yeah, I get that, but I think there's a difference between the two. And again, I'm trying to be fair. I think there's a difference between two. Mahershala Ali said, "I want to be Blade." He didn't say, "I want to be Blade." And also, here's a story that here. Look, I had a pitch for an idea for the story. I went talked to my director friend that and got him that we wrote up a pitch for it and went to Marvel Studios, and then Marvel was like, "We want to work with both of you. Go write it, and then come back to us." That's not what happened. He said, "Hey, I just won an Oscar again, and I want to be Blade." And Kevin Feige was like, and that was it. And then they were like, "I guess we got to make a Blade movie now." You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit of a different story. Also, Ghost Rider is such a blank slate. No, no one can tell me. I mean, you might be able to, but most people would never be able to tell you a comic book storyline that was just about Ghost Rider. I don't know it.
Just about. I mean, you know what? There are like a lot of things, a lot of considerations, and at the end of the day, I might be saying that like nobody asked for this, but I know that I will show up, and I know that I will watch it, and if it's good, I will praise it, and I will love it, and want more, and probably
Right.
even like care more about all the participants. But I just kind of would have preferred to see Robbie Reyes, but okay.
I agree. I really liked what's his name? What's his name? Is it Gabriel Luna from Agents of Shield? I really liked him as Ghost Rider. But we're not gonna get that. Maybe down the line, but not anytime soon. And also, the Latino representation in Marvel is pitiful. Like it's literally pitiful. The only one I can think of is Namor, Tenoch Huerta, and what's it, Luis, freaking Luis. That's it. Oh, I'm
They
sorry.
had
I'm
Oscar
missing. I'm
Isaac,
missing one. Oscar
Pedro
Isaac.
Pascal.
Oscar Isaac is not playing. Is not playing. He's playing a white man, and
Well, no, he's playing a Jewish man,
well,
and
Jewish
doesn't
man. You're right.
necessarily mean that he's a white man, and he still can like have his own
But he's playing.
Latino roots.
He's playing a white man.
Still weird.
He's playing a white Jewish
Yeah.
guy, and
Okay.
also
Well, yeah, but then Pedro Pascal is
Pedro
also playing a
Pascal
white
is
dude,
playing a
and
white is playing
the
a white
worst,
man.
the worst kind of
The
white
only
guy.
other one is Xochitl Gomez. That's it.
And she's been seen. She hasn't been seen anywhere in a while.
Which is look, Marvel's not.
Probably disappeared
I
along
don't.
with all the other characters of color, you
I
know.
don't think Marvel's.
Stepped away
Yeah.
to another universe.
I don't think
Went looking for
Marvel.
Monica Rambeau. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I get it. Marvel's not doing this on purpose. There's a shit ton of people in the Marvel universe. There are so many characters right now, and there's only so much money. They can't just make something new. They have to figure out how to incorporate these characters into other things that are ongoing, which to me I think is maybe the failing of the MCU in the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Is the failure to weave the threads properly. If they're making a tapestry, they sure are leaving frayed ends. They're leaving gaps in the weave, because there's many opportunities to bring in characters that are in other stories to kind of fill out what's happening, to make us feel like this is a part of a shared universe. Eternals was worst about this. All they did was mention the fact that the Avengers exist. All right. There are so many of the projects post Endgame that for for whatever reason we're like we're not going to do that, right? And so now they're getting a little smarter about it, but they should have been doing this. So that being said, I,
I, I actually, kind of disagree with that, and because I don't think that everything has to be connected. I don't think that everything has to be like necessarily tied into a bigger story. I love the shows, and I love the fact that we were eating good and we were eating a lot, and
mm-hmm,
we did not appreciate it. Well, we appreciated it, but some people didn't appreciate it simply because
and a
they
lot of
couldn't
yeah,
stand other people getting some shit.
a lot, and
Mm,
there was a lot of casual fans who didn't show up to the buffet at all
yeah.
because they didn't see the things on the menu that they were used to getting. That
Or I'd
for a
say
better
that
or
they
for
probably
yeah
didn't even know. Some of
that
them didn't even
yeah
know that they were supposed to show up.
yeah and for but
So
for better or for
whose fault
worse,
is that?
I hated to say this, for better or for worse, the interconnectedness is kind of vital to making the TV shows matter and turn for casuals. Just a short, just showing up very quick. I'm not saying Spider-Man got to show up for shit, but like just showing up between things to kind of the way Nick Fury might just kind of show up and connect. Just little the way Coulson would just kind of show up and connect. It ain't got to be a big deal. Just like just a little bit. I think like Wonder Man not doing that was good in the sense that it kept itself separate, but it also sort of like kind of, I don't want to say undermines, but it would have a bit more punch to just have that kind of cameo. The way Daredevil showed up in She-Hulk, that was a nice little punch. I'm not. It wasn't. For one episode, it was
And then he
important,
proceeded living his life like that never happened.
as if it never happened. And that's
And She-Hulk, she probably went along with all the characters of color to look for
yeah.
Monica.
But but we could go on about this. I'm excited about this. Not because I'm a big Ghost Rider fan, just because maybe we'll finally get the horror slash supernatural side of the MCU going. And if it's good, hey, we're all the better for it. Now here's the big stuff. This is what you really care about. Uh,
True.
this is that Marvel announces Black Panther 3, and they announce who's going to be the next Black Panther. And let me tell you what, Marvel dropped the ball on this. And you're going to be like, what? How dare you, Mo? I mean it in this way. They dropped the ball because they had a chance to do the funniest thing in the world. Ryan Gosling was right there. He was right there on the stage. If they had him come out in a Black Panther cosplay and take it, they're like, we have our next Black Panther. Have him come out and take the helmet off, and it's Ryan Gosling. That would have been the best troll in the history of trolling, because of the meme, right?
And I know why they didn't do that. I
Because
think that it's
they want to fight.
smart of them.
They didn't want to have me fighting. If they had,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I would have had, if I were running, and maybe that's why I shouldn't run any studio. I would have done it because I would have let the fans know. Yes, motherfuckers, we listen. We see the shit y'all be talking about. We see the dumb shit y'all be saying online. We know what y'all be saying.
That would imply that they do know.
Yeah, that I would just let people know, like, we see what, and I'm trolling you idiots who put this meme up every time we talk about,
That's something James Gunn would do probably.
and I would love him for it. That's for me, for my, like, as soon as they announced it, I was like, this is great, but Ryan Gosling was on stage. Y'all really could have put him in. Look, Paul Rudd would have done it. Paul Rudd would have come out in the costume and done that. Ryan Reynolds would have done it. Ryan Gosling, you would have been legendary. It'd have been legendary. But
Well, he doesn't want to be legendary.
yeah, I
He
guess
wants to
not. He
be
wants to be Ghost
one
Rider.
of those two Canadian guys
Either way, Marvel,
with the
y'all,
same face. They faces the same face.
Marvel, y'all had a
Yeah.
chance, but you know what? It's fine. In an alternate universe,
Let's
that
talk
happened.
about the
Yeah,
real
no,
Black
no, yeah.
Panther,
Let's talk
though.
about now. The real Black Panther is David Johnson. Most recently
Yeah.
in The Long Walk, also in Alien Romulus. He's a British actor of Nigerian descent. Um, he's got his star is burning brightly right now. Let me tell you, people are like, it should have been Damson Idris. Okay, I guess whatever. I didn't watch any of the shit with him in it, but sure, fine. That he could have been. But David Johnson's a good pick. This is a very good pick.
Not just a good pick, but when Ryan Coogler says, I think that he was saying it in an interview, or somebody was saying it, that he called, Feige maybe said it, that he met with David Johnson, and he immediately like felt like that was the Black Panther. I think that that's more than enough, because the man knew Chadwick Boseman, and the man knows the character, and read the comics, and he knows what he's looking for. And all of you smartasses who wanted a different casting, shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
I don't care who you wanted, but like I trust this is probably one of the very few people at Marvel right now that I can trust fully and completely with the movies that they're gonna make for us. Because two times he did not disappoint. He did not disappoint with Sinners. He did not disappoint with Creed. He did not disappoint with like anything that I've seen of his. And
Mhm.
I haven't seen everything yet, which is like my mistake, my bad. I'm gonna fix that. Uh, but there are reasons for us to trust him, and his choice to me says more than some random person on the internet.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I get it. Damson Idris, he had the role in Snowfall, and people were like, he's so great. I'm not saying he's not. Ryan Coogler, like, I don't even know if that was ever even a possibility. Feige said that he was like, this might be the guy. Let me meet up with him. And when he had the meeting, he was like, he's our guy. He said he's a great actor. He's a good man, which was like, is that usually, why you pick somebody? Yes. He's going to be a franchise. He's going to be a face of a franchise. He's going to be an ongoing player in the Marvel cinematic universe. They don't
he's
need
gonna
another.
marry Storm.
They don't need another Jonathan Majors situation. Which Jonathan Majors, great actor, kind of fucked up everything. So, they didn't need all that. So, great. I love to see this. I love the fact that he's T'Challa Jr. People kept saying he's Toussaint. I'm like, no, bitch. Did you not see
Same
the?
person.
Did you fail to see the end of the movie where he said what he's like, and where Shuri asked him what his name was, his Wakanda name, and he said, "My name is
No,
T'Challa."
no, no. First he said that yeah, his name is Toussaint, but that's his Haidan name,
Yeah,
and his Wakandan name is T'Challa, son of T'Challa.
exactly. Like,
They all like, did you all black out and just ignore it? Did somebody was messing with your mind? Were you too, I don't know, did you fall asleep? Were you like busy? Please, when you watch something, watch it.
um,
Pay attention.
and the people are there was a bit of a like, how dare they? They're always having the British people take the Black American roles. Here's a news flash for y'all. Wakanda is not in motherfucking United States. It's not. It's in Africa. If anybody should be
Not
fucking,
even in the same
yeah,
continent.
it's not this. If anybody should be mad, it should be continental Africans being like, y'all couldn't have picked a African. We got actors too. And further to the point, like many of the great black actors in Britain, like almost totally, they are, their descent is West African for the most part. Think of anyone that you know. Their parents are either first or second generation from the continent, like to the point that that's their names. Thandiwe Newton, her, she's mixed race, and Thandiwe is not that's not an English name, right? David Oyelowo, Chiwetel Ejiofor, right? I could go on. So David Jonnson, like in my understanding is like I think he's a third, second or third generation. So like y'all chill, just chill out. He's of Nigerian descent. It's all right. Um, Black Panther 3 is a go. Denzel Washington is apparently set to star as he leaked months ago, many months ago. We don't know what his role is, but David Johnson. Look, I'm just glad we're getting Black Panther 3. I trust Ryan Coogler. If he says he's the man, he's the fucking man. Also, it's beautiful to see him up there with the other members of the cast and getting some dap from Michael B. Jordan. So, like, look, he's certified. He's co-signed. Shut up, you weirdos. Y'all chill out. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. And we're getting this in 2028, December of 2028. So I'm very, very excited for that. It's going to be a post-Secret Wars world, which I assume was going to explain why he is grown instead of a little kid.
And he's gonna marry Storm.
Oh,
I know that's not confirmed or anything. It's just like I'm gonna be talking about this.
It's bad.
I said that I'm gonna be insufferable about this.
So, all right, that's all of our Comic-Con news. So that means we got to get on to our reviews. First review of the day, we're going to talk about My Adventure with Superman, Season 3, Episode 7. Mr. Mixopidic, I can never say the guy's name right, is back at the end of the last episode after everyone saved the day. They were suddenly whisked away through some portals. So there's some magic shenanigans going on. And that's what can sort of describe this whole episode. This is a magical shenanigans starring your favorite, least favorite imp, Mr. Mixopidic. And surprise, there's a woman in the galaxy that can put up with this shit. Miss Glitzy, as they like to, it's something ridiculous. We're gonna call her Glitzy. We call him Mixie, call her Glitzy. And apparently they're getting divorced. But as a part of the divorce, to decide how to separate their belongings, they've got their team of champions, racing, through a bunch of challenges and stuff like that.
Mojo World, essentially.
Yeah, that part. And so we get the hijinks and the godlike beings messing around with our favorite characters. In this case, it's Kara, Jimmy, Clark, and Lois facing off against alternate universe versions of themselves. Except instead of Clark, we got good. What do you call him? Good Lex, good Lex Luthor, and it's an opportunity to be like, well, what if, let's see alternate version of ourselves. What if we took this path instead? What's the world going to be like without Superman, essentially? And so besides being a bunch of kind of fun and sometimes silly situations, we get to see what's Kara like if she believed that what Brainiac said about her. What's Lois like when Clark dies and she's got to be more serious. What's Lex Luthor like when Superman disappears? What happens to him? And then what's Jamie like when he gets superpowers or he becomes a superhero? It's all like that. There's some character development. Some of the ongoing character threads are sort of not, I don't want to say wrapped up, but they're sort of brought to like a conclusion of sorts, where these characters are different than they were when they started, and it's just fun time. So either way, I liked the episode. Wasn't the best of the season, but I thought I had a good time. What'd you think?
When it started, I wasn't quite interested in it because it was like, everything we saw in the last few days was overwhelming. But the farther it went, the more I kind of got interested. And I really loved the fact that we explored different versions of everyone, that Clark finally got to reflect a little bit on what he could have been and what he is now. Was fun to see Good Legs, who apparently like loved the moment when he was like, I didn't want to listen to Superman once, and I'm not gonna do it again. But also, like, isn't he living proof of the people of Metropolis being freaking stupid?
Fucking dumb as hell.
And even Lex Luthor, even one of the smartest people in that town, he's still a moron. Like, completely. Why? What took him like not just glasses, not just Clark taking off his glasses, but like making a little curl on his forehead. Like, how is that gonna make any difference?
Stupid. So
come on. And he didn't change at all. Like, oh, so stupid.
What about Jimmy being alternate Jimmy being like, yeah, the world sucks, but hey, at least I'm a superhero. I'm like, is that how you want to? That's how you want to look at the bright side of life? I don't know if this is the time for that, my guy. Your best friend's dead.
I think that I understand him. I understand, like, he went through some shit. He's in delusion. He's deep in delusion. It was funny, and all of that was really funny. I really liked Lois's interaction with her alternate self. That was probably the deepest one, and like Kara, of course. But in general, it was like a Mojoverse kind of episode for me. Total filler, which I don't mind, and I really would have used that anvil though.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of fun.
The cosmic anvil. I did like that there was a switcheroo at the end, and of course you can, Mr. Mixelphysic, Mixie. He's always up to some. It's not just he's up to some bullshit. You can't ever really be sure how straight he's shooting. Glitzy was very fun. Their little interaction, and it turns out that they were role playing, and I was like, that's an interesting thing to be putting in kind of a kid's cartoon about keeping it fresh. And then they use the anime tropes very well, I think, because him having his little tantrum at the end. What an anime thing! Like the way they frame it, it's very anime thing to do. This is a fun episode. It's unfortunate that it's releasing at the same time as X-Men 97. Any other time, you'd be like, this is great. This is a great highlight of the week. Not this week. Sorry. You're in the meat grinder. Unfortunately, you're the same week as Spider-Man Brand New Day, Cape Crusader Season 2, and fucking X-Men 97. There ain't no way. You can't win. That's it. Good episode. We enjoyed it. Let's talk about what you really want to talk about. X-Men 97. Season 2, Episode 7. Bishop plus, I should have put Heart. I've had plus Polaris. I should have said Heart Polaris. Bishlaris, bipolar, whatever you want to call it.
Bilaris.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah.
I like bipolar just because it's funny.
I know, but it was so obvious. I didn't want to use something so obvious.
That's not what this episode's about, but it may as well be, as much as people are talking about it. I just want to say, Bo DeMaio, you ain't slick. Yeah, I know in that series Bible, you're like, and this is the season where Bishop and Polaris become a thing. We're fuck Havoc, which to me, that doesn't bother me.
Well, nobody's gonna.
Yeah. Val Cooper maybe, but like probably not. I don't think she likes. I don't think she likes mutants.
Well, maybe she's like into freaky stuff.
I mean, Wolf Bane is right there. Rain is right there. If you're a furry.
No, I think that's not Rain. That's what's her face? Feral.
Is that Feral?
I think it's Feral.
I thought that was Rain. Well, I got to double check because she had brown fur. Feral had
no, she had like this rifled hair.
Well, yeah, okay, a little bit of, I don't want to say comics history, but if you read the original run of X-Force, like the third issue, I think X Factor and X-Force fight each other, and they have a fight between Rain and Farrell, and they look goddamn near the same. Like I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I know.
That it's like
But I think we've seen Rain somewhere before that, and she looked different. I could be mistaken, but I think we've seen her before, and I'm pretty sure that's Farrell.
well, the reason why I say it's Rain is because Farrell is not has never been associated with X Force, but Rain was.
Farrell was on X Force.
Not X Force, X Factor. X Factor. Rain was a member of X Factor. But either way, we can come back to that. That's barely relevant to this. The point being that
what is relevant is that Havoc is never getting late.
Not by Polaris anymore. He done picked his side. And not with Bishop there. I mean, if you had nobody. First of all, no one likes Alex Summers. Just like let's just admit it. Nobody likes him.
I mean, Scott kind of.
Scott barely.
Before Maddie.
You would barely know that they were brothers. Like either way, nobody likes him. No one's bothered by the fact that Bishop is stealing his girl, and we're all there for it. This show needs a little swirl. We're gonna get a little swirl, but that's not what this episode's about. This episode is actually about I forget the name. What's Exodus's crew called? What are they? They're not the Ravagers. What the fuck are they called? Either way.
Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. I forgot.
Yeah, I never remember the name, but Exodus has pulled together his crew of mutants that are carrying on Magneto's, in Magneto's name, and they've got the shoulder pads and capes to show for it. God damn it! And thing they do is, Graydon Creed, who's a piece of crap, he's like, I'm gonna run for president, and they're like, yeah, about that. Let's snatch this fool up. So they do, and we find out that Colossus is a member of the crew because all that shit that
Acolytes.
The Acolytes. There you go. Colossus is a member of the Acolytes because he lost his sister in Genosha, and the tragedy at Genosha. And
allegedly.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you know, you know.
She's a witch in the teleporter, and she's probably gonna go.
Well, he had her body. He had our body was there. So, but we know. If you know, you know. Like, now he's a member of the Ravagers, and they kidnap Creed, and they're like, we're gonna execute this guy if you don't let go of the prisoners that X Factor has, captured. And they're often out of jurisdiction of X Factor. So Charles is like, we're gonna stick our nose into this fucking business because why wouldn't we? And Val Cooper's like, how dare you? But please continue. And so for better or for worse, they send half the team. Why they send half a team when Exodus is the motherfucking leader? Why? I don't understand this. Exodus is like
because somebody needed to stay behind and
to do things.
Drive around Charles if he needs to go somewhere.
driving Mrs. Charles.
Preferably an Omega level mutant because he just doesn't hang out with the small kind of mutants.
That's why it's so.
Glob can't just drive him around.
Probably they needed them to teach class that day. So, but they send. So what we get? Rogue Beast, Nightcrawler, Bishop, Polaris, and obviously things aren't going to go right because reasons. And they go to the Savage Land, and they run into the Acolytes, and they can't use their powers. It's all a setup for a reenactment of To Kill a Mockingbird, where they're trying because Kurt, look, I love Nightcrawler. Pick your battles. Yeah, I get that. That's
could have called She-Hulk. Could have called Daredevil. Yeah. Anyone.
That's your half brother. I get it, but all kinfolk ain't kinfolk. Graydon Creed is trash.
Not that one.
But he's like,
no, even defending him was such a terrible idea, but the way he defended him was even worse.
It's
That's not how law works.
well, it just
Because
what
just because you feel sorry for him, somebody picked on him when he was a baby, doesn't mean that he can get around the genociding people today.
that part. Like he's right. He's like, oh, he's mad because your parents were, you had the shittiest parents in the world. You had Mystique and
Like
Sabretooth.
everybody, that you're among mutants. Most of them had shitty parents.
I get it. You're a squib and you're mad about it. Sorry. Sorry you didn't get powers, Mr. Filch. That don't mean you got to bother me about this. So why look, your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Why you making everybody else's problem? But he does. And so the question is, um, will they execute him? And Colossus is the judge, and Exodus can't
what
just
choice?
what he. I think
Just
it was
saying, the only image of justice he's seen so far in the 90s is probably Soviet Union. Not the best choice.
Yeah, he but hope springs eternal, I guess. To be perfectly honest, Exodus was just like he was impatient. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kill him anyway. You're gonna choose wrong anyway. I'm gonna kill him anyway." And then of course we got to have the pew pew fight, because while all this stuff was going on, after they crashed their plane and everything, which by the way, who paying for these blackbirds? That motherfucker gets blown up so much. Who is fixing? Who's doing this? Is Forge just like, where are the blackbirds?
Printing money?
He ain't that rich. I'm sorry, Charles Xavier is not that rich.
Forge is rich.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think of other rich people.
They blow that damn plane
Emma
up.
Frost.
They blow that plane up so much. That's a $30+ million plane in the 90s. There's no way y'all keep replacing that bitch. Either way, while all that's going on, Bishop and Polaris are on a walkabout. It's very cute. It's a very cute little thing. Bishop he's blocked up because he can't use his powers to get rid of his, the energy. But that doesn't mean they can't flirt. That doesn't mean they can't. That doesn't mean they can't spend that alone time building up a relationship that we all want. And then they come to the rescue and blow up the little tower that stops their powers. And there's a fight. And Creed has all the plot armor in the world. God damn it. Because he is not dead at the end of this, but Exodus is. Weird. Weird choice there. For this show out.
That wasn't the end, though.
Yeah, and then the end is, of course, X-Force running down on Apocalypse in Athens, only to find his desiccated body and a playing card that it's partly burned. I'm sure that won't have any effect on the future at all. Look, it's a good episode. I think everybody's more high on it than I was. I thought the kind of the trial of Graydon Creed was contrived and silly. Nightcrawler annoyed the fuck out of me for doing that. Like, I hate to say it, Exodus was the correct person in this situation.
Yeah.
Graydon Creed will never ever. He's never changing his. He's not a lion that can't change his stripes. He's a lion that can't change his motherfucking shape. Y'all keep, or I'm sorry, you're
leopard.
You know what I'm saying? A zebra, not a lion, a leopard that can't change his spots. But he's a leopard that can't change his shape into a bunny rabbit. That's what the fuck he is. And trying to redeem him or save his life or whatever is silly. And I get it, Kurt. I get it. You're super religious and all that shit. But you weren't so religious. You left him literally in Antarctica and peaced out. That's what we're doing right now.
Unfortunately, people come back from that, and this is really not short-sighted. If anything, leaving somebody like that, because you think it's gonna sit and think about his bad behavior and then come back reformed? no, that's not what's gonna happen. You're gonna see him again trying to kill more of you.
Yep.
And why the hell would you leave him alive? That
And
is not like superheroes and stuff. You know, you can live Charles Xavier's dream, but that's at the end of the day, this is just stupid.
yeah.
And what he did is just stupid, and he put more of his own people at risk, and he didn't have to do that.
And he killed
And
Exodus.
didn't need a trial, a whole trial. Yeah, he killed some of his people to protect that asshole. Uh, Ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
so
did not like Kurt in this. I did not like. I do not understand that man.
it
If he
was
wants to be a
ridiculous.
priest, go be a priest. Stop doing like superhero stuff because that Matt Murdock shit. And now he's trying to be lawyer. Oh my god, he's trying to replace Matt Murdock.
It was like that annoyed me so much. I'm like, shut the man, Night Roll, I love you. Shut the fuck up. Also, uh, there Rogue was just like, well, we don't like this guy, but we got to make it look good. At least she's honest about it. Like, fuck that guy, but like, we got to make it look good. I honestly, I mean, I get it, and they stopped, they stopped like some major hostilities or whatever because of that. But I don't think Exodus was a good price to pay for it. Even though they did have a really cool sword fight. Like, it's not often that Kurt has to deal with somebody else who can teleport. So that was really cool. I enjoyed that. And we get Colossus back at the X Mansion, I guess. Cool. But but they killed off Magic, which annoyed the hell out of me. Um she's not dead.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
Yeah, but still, they killed her off and like
Yeah.
did a whole portrait thing.
Yeah.
That
Look, this episode, I know a lot of people are higher on it than I am. I don't think this was the better one of the better ones of the season. Not just because of who it featured or anything like that. I felt like it was one of those in between episodes. Like it's building to something, and it's showing X Corp and what they do and all that stuff. But I wasn't like, oh, this is this is an amazing episode. It was it was good, in my opinion. But
I loved it absolutely, like wholeheartedly. Absolutely loved it.
my favorite part of the whole
Can't wait for
episode. Yeah,
next week.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think my favorite part of the episode was just that whole Bishop Polaris thing. They're a good team. Like, outside of the whole romantic angle that they're working towards, they're a good fucking team. Like, so far in 2 episodes, every time they are teamed up, they're kicking ass. So I'm with it.
And they teamed up a lot.
Yeah, we need I'm gonna have some little bit Bilarises running around soon. So now we gotta talk about the big boy this week. This is, the thing this week. If you're a comic book fan, comic book movie fan, and you haven't gone to see this, I feel sorry for you. We're not gonna, we're gonna stay spoiler free for, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. But we gotta talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Just dropped yesterday. From a box office standpoint, it's gonna possibly be the biggest movie of the year. We'll see. I'm certain it'll beat out the Odyssey just because it's PG-13, and it's Spider-Man.
There is
Everybody,
Doomsdays too.
yeah, Doomsday might actually kill it, but consider the fact that Doomsday's
Not a guarantee.
well, Doomsday's box office is going to cut off after a couple weeks for 2026 and continue into 2027, whereas Spider-Man's got a few months to do its thing. And it's certainly doing its thing. I don't know about you. Now, when I went to the showing, there's a ton. When I say there's a lot of showings for it, I mean there was probably about 24-ish, 25-ish showings of it. Like, not counting I think probably may have been about 20, not counting the big format theaters. The big format theaters were blocked out. I could not go see that, so I watched it in a regular theater. It was still, it was worthwhile. I'm gonna go back and see it again. um, big box office for the preview day. I think they said 76 million. It's bigger than Endgame was. It's tracking I think it's going to make $1 billion. I think that's a given because this movie is good. It's not just like, look, and I don't mean good as in like, oh, it's fine. No, it's really good. This movie is really good. It's satisfying. It's gonna like appeal to kids. It's gonna appeal to grown-ups. Um, People that complain about like Marvel being spectacle and not character based, they're gonna get some of that too. Um, it does some lore dropping. It introduces a new character that we were speculating about. It crosses over some characters from other parts of the MCU. It does kind of everything. Um, and it's super comic booky. Like this could out of all the Spider-Man we've seen so far, like out of all the Spider-Man movies that ever existed that aren't the Spider-Verse movies, this is the most like a comic book. It's explicitly like a fucking comic book to the point of like recreating comic book covers and everything like that. Also, this Peter is the most like in the comic books. He is downtrodden and very put upon. Uh, he's not rich. He's not popular. Nobody knows who the fuck he is, and he is going to work, being a superhero, but he ain't got no life beyond that. And just kind of, he's not hating life, but boy, he's being worn down by his decision to keep Ned and MJ in the dark. And so, and now he's facing this new threat that can apparently hop between bodies and wants something nefarious. We're assuming damage control wants him to be on the job, and at the same time, he's having some really major changes to his physiology thanks to the mutations from the spider bite, and he doesn't know what the fuck to do about it. Can he make it work, even though his body's going through changes and major shit is happening? The city loves him. Will they continue to love him as he becomes possibly something different? We don't know, but we found out in this movie. As I said, I think the movie's really good. It's I will say also it's not my favorite of the Tom Holland movies. I hear a lot of people saying that this is their favorite one. Homecoming's still my guy, but this is better than No Way Home. Not No Way Home. Actually, it may
It
be
is better than
it
No
may
Way
be
Home.
better than No Way Home. It's definitely better than Far From Home. Like it's up there, and I had a good time with it. What do you think about it?
Loved it. I wrote about this already. I especially love Peter's story in this. I love that they took all the elements of his life that I kind of felt like they were sidelined in the previous movie, and this movie felt like a direct continuation, probably even like a second arc of that movie, a second act of that movie of No Way Home. And it felt like a coherent story, and like if you throw away all the elements that I don't like, it actually becomes better. Believe me on that. Uh, really loved the story. Really loved his relationships with all of the supporting characters, the ones that were announced, then the ones that weren't. It is very much a Peter story, and the story that I was happy to see because it does feel comic book, very comic booky. You're very right about that. And also it was really personal, and we were really spending a lot of time with Spider-Man, and seeing how everything affects him, seeing how he lives, like what his life is like. It's kind of like playing the game, the
Mhm.
Spider-Man game. You kind of go through all of that alongside him, and that is very important, and that is very well done. Regarding like there is a lot going on, and yeah, some parts of it feel like it's a comic book, but I feel like some parts of it, like there's too much at times, and it handles it really pretty well for like so many events. It's just a lot of noise, kind of like I need another second viewing to understand it better, and to like feel the pacing better and experience it without anticipation of
Mhm.
the big finale or something like that. Because second time is when you really finally feel like you're watching the movie. Uh, so yeah, other than that, everything I loved a lot about this movie. I didn't like one thing, and I talked about it, and I'll talk about this a little bit later when we get to the spoiler part. But in general, it's an amazing movie. It's a great movie. It's a great Spider-Man movie, and you all should go and see it.
Absolutely. I agree. Before we get into like the spoilers, some of the story aspects, from a technical standpoint, this might be the best one so far. Um, it has a look to it. It had like, and it's weird to say that
Yeah,
it has a specific look to it that isn't like the previous ones. The previous ones, you could call like, they're MCU movies. They look like MCU, and there's nothing on John Watts. I love the trilogy, but this one has its own look. It's New York has its. I don't know if it's you know the color grading or how he chooses to the shot selection or whatever. It feels more like Spider-Man than the other ones before. And you mentioned the Insomniac Spider-Man games. It's clear. It is absolutely 1,000% clear that that's one of the inspirations for the action and the swinging, the web swinging, and everything. It feels like that hell that little just falling from the skyscraper thing is that's what if you played that game you did that right you
a lot.
fall and
And
you
then, like,
swing
pigeons.
yeah
There's the whole thing with pigeons.
that but there's a lot to it that very much feels like inspired by that, and the people in Insomniac they should be feel very proud about that because it gives this movie character outside of like when Spider-Man's on the scene and he's doing things, it has character that's different than the previous Spider-Man movies. The action is like excellent. He's more Spider-Man doing action in this one than we've seen in a long time. Like there's a few scenes where he's using his webbing and everything that remind me a bit of that the boat scene from Homecoming, but he's so dynamic. He's hopping around. He's seeing things 3 steps ahead and like setting up like hits and everything like that. It's hell. The one of the most Spider-Man things that happened is during that opening chase sequence with the tank. He rescues a kid from being hit by a flying car. Like so, you see Spider-Man seeing the whole field and just kind of like being a hero. So you understand at the at the end of the movie and at the end of the movie why everybody likes Spider-Man so much. This is not a Spider-Man that New York hates. No, this is a Spider-Man New York
Yeah.
love. They love him and for good reason. You can see he puts so much care into being Spider-Man and making sure everyone's fine. So I think like I said from a technical aspect, this is probably the best thing that they've done so far. Um, the fidelity to the comics is crazy. There's a little edit you can find on social media of shots from the movie, kind of transposed on the comic book that inspired cover that inspired it. Beautiful, love that. Um, we get to see some characters like Michael Mando as Scorpion. Beautiful. I wish he had been in it more, honestly. Um, and also, I forget the actor's name, but they had Tombstone in it for like a
Yeah.
scene, and I was like, "Come on, like, don't y'all cast him?" And they ain't no, he really was. Wasn't even. It was barely a cameo. I wanted to see more of that. Um, we have new characters we hadn't met before. They brought Jean DeWolf in. Loved her. I just exactly what she's the Commissioner Gordon to Spider-Man, like to Tom Holland Spider-Man. I loved it. They have a genial relationship, and she actually gives a shit about him. That's not you're not used to that with with the police interacting with them. I thought that was excellent. Um, who else? Obviously, I guess we could start being in spoilers now. Oh, shout out to Marissa Tomei. Her her cameos in this, they to me, they fucking like they I don't want to say they brought it together, but the emotional storyline was so important that she was there for it. Like not just for Peter's journey, but for obviously the other, the villain's journey. Beautiful. I love that they brought her back. Um, they were very respectful of the character, and they just gave her great stuff to work with. Um, Trammell Tillman as Metzger, director Metzger of Damage Control. He's boy, what a slippery motherfucker that is, and I love that. Um, so again, spoiler time. They fucking brought in Florence Pugh, and I damn near jumped up out of my seat. Um,
Absolutely love that.
you know, you know, I love Yelena. Like one of my top three new characters in the MCU since Endgame. I love her so much. I'm a Florence Pugh. I'm not a stan, but I'm a huge fan of hers as an actor.
Well, don't be a stan.
I won't be a stan,
Being a
but I'm
stan is very
saying,
creepy.
but like I love her as an actor. She's so great as Yelena. Um, just I damn near wanted. I definitely clapped really loud, and I say yes, like really loud in the theater because she's such a great little. She, you know what she is? She's a nice little not even want to say garnish. She's a nice little seasoning that's dusted on top that just brings the flavor out of this movie. Just her little, just the accent. She's in the bathhouse. She's giving him shit about her level, that she's an Avenger and he's not. Oh, they're like a brother and sister that just kind of like
She's so good. She's so
once
good in that role. And like calling that her office so ridiculous, but also
wonderful.
so fitting. Like I love that she is
She's
kind of like more ironic about everything than Natasha. Uh,
and what
like
what is
Natasha
shit?
was a serious superhero. It's like this, action figure, stuff like that. Elena is entirely different. She's like a younger child.
And she's Russian. She's Russian. Like Natasha was Russian, but you wouldn't
Yeah, she
know it.
was very
You
Americanized.
wouldn't
Yeah.
know it. No, Yelena is Russian. Like for real. I mean I figure at some point they're just gonna have her eating borscht and like she's already been
Oh, they
switching.
did that. Did you
Yeah.
see that in Black Widow when they had this family reunion? They
Yeah.
ate actually Russian salad. Uh, that is very popular in Russia.
Hmm.
So the food was pretty genuine, like authentic, and yeah, they did that, and I love that. Yelena, she's very natural in this role. Like Florence Pugh is so natural
So
in this
good.
role. Probably the best performance I've ever seen of a Russian.
She's so
I
wonderful.
mean,
Like
Russians can't play Russians that well.
it's she's so wonderful in the sense that she's funny and she's a little look, she's giving him shit, but she actually gives a shit about him too because she's like it's so so sad and everything like that. Now she's like, oh, you got friends. Oh, all right, I love to see it. Beautiful. I okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna stop. Yeah, Florence Pugh, beautiful. Love to see it. Also, it just reminds me that there was this little reaction thing when on the red carpet when Zendaya walked by, and she was like, "Damn!" Like looking at her fit because she's always on point. People were like, "But Flo, you were looking on point too," and I'm like, "Look, a queen can recognize a queen too. It's all good. It's all good." The other thing, um, we find out who Sadie Sink played. Worst kept secret possible, and I have a feeling you have some big things to say about it. I was very very pleased to see that she was Jean Grey. Um, clapped about it. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. This is a Jean Grey I haven't seen before. This is not a Jean Grey I'm accustomed to, and her power set is, at least at first, is much different. Um, but I liked her. I think Sadie Sink, she's a, I think she's a great actor. I think she played the version of the character to the best of her ability. I It was very endearing to me. Felt dangerous. Um, she felt driven and like very capable, but also in a way, especially at the end, you realize she's just kind of broken and hurt by things that have happened and the major losses, and that's kind of driving what's happening with her. But like Peter's the same, and the fact that they're the same makes that little bit with Aunt May in his head hit all the more. Like there's a part where she's she's inhabiting Peter while he's reliving the memory, and this part like really made me tear up was where Aunt May leans in to hug him, but she's him, and she's getting a hug from a mom that she never got before because she has powers. I was like, what a wonderful bit of storytelling and very very well played by the two actors. Anyway, I know you have some thoughts about Jean Grey. How did you feel about this reveal and the character of Jean
Um,
Grey?
kind of, kind of conflicted because on one hand, I do like Citizen and do like her in this role. She looks exactly like what I would imagine Jean Grey, Teen Jean Grey would look like, especially after the time displaced version from the comics. She looks exactly like that. It's perfect, perfect casting. Did I like the character that they brought? I mean, not really because I see that they used a lot of her her development to push further than Peter's story, and it really worked well for Peter's story. It became a rich one. It really worked really well for his story, but not for hers.
Right.
In my opinion, at least, I agree to disagree with people who disagree because there are fans who loved this version of her. I'm just not entirely agree. I'm gonna call her Elaine because not the Jean I recognize. I did
Yeah, Madeline Pryor.
uh
Madeline Pryor is right there, but
no, that's a clone, and that's a whole other story, whole other drama. This is Elaine. Mm. So yeah, I do. Jean is not even my favorite character, so I shouldn't be that mad, and I'm sure that I'm gonna get used to it,
hmm
to like her backstory. It's just. mm it felt a little bit uninspired to me, and it felt a little bit like out of place in some ways because she did experience loss, but it's nothing that hardcore, and she's not that hardcore character. And this they're trying to make her more interesting than she probably is, because Jean is pretty bland in the beginning of like the early
right.
comics, the actual early comics. Her actual origin story is pretty bland,
Well, hey,
and I don't mind that for her.
here's an upside to this
Yeah.
character. At least right now, she's not getting creeped on by Professor X. So there's that. I mean,
For now,
there's
or
that.
Wolverine, which is gonna be very creepy if that happen ever happen. But I think that's not gonna happen. But back to James. Her, I don't, let me get back to where I was. 'Cause kind of lost my train of thoughts for a second. Uh, so yeah, her origin story kind of like not. I think that they could have done this better.
Mhm.
And the fact that they introduced her in Peter's story, I don't mind that. That actually works for me, and they've done this before. Like they've done this before in animation, and it worked. It could be done. It's not a bad idea. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm also very excited for like the fact that they doing mutants in
Right.
the MCU. But this Jean gave me like serious Fox vibes, and I immediately became worried about the future of the X-Men because like we don't want more Fox, man. There is a reason we have to say goodbye to them in every new movie that they make about them. They keep bringing them back. Still, like we have a soft reboot ahead of us, so we don't know what to expect. I really like the portrayal, and like there were really great tiny moments between the two characters. That kind of again reminded me of the time displaced Jean is basically all her interactions with Peter, because Peter is older than her in this. So he kind of provides guidance for her. And this does feel reminiscent of that Jean from the comics, and
Right.
love that. And of course, like the moments when she was breathing for him, like, and
Hmm.
the whole thing, very touching. Didn't much care for her sister at all. There was
Yeah.
a nice touch with the like hair tie, hair ribbon that she had with the green and yellow,
Yeah.
which yeah, immediately caught that.
Yeah.
Not surprised at
Yeah.
all. And the VMAX storyline, it kind of like makes sense. It's nice, but I just feel like it would work better for a different character, maybe. Uh, Still the same things, because but I'll get used to it. I'll be
Yeah.
fine. And yeah, that's probably all I can say for now.
Yeah. I, I like the character. I think yeah,
Elaine,
I can see what you mean by that. I think the soft reboot is going to be more in line with what you're used to for Jean Grey,
I
because
hope so.
this we're getting a
And
soft.
also, like,
Yeah.
I hope that they're not trying to do the Phoenix story again, because
Yeah.
I think people, like, when I was talking about this on Threads, some people showed up and were like, yeah, they're gonna do the Phoenix story again. I'm like, nobody wants that. Like, not, it doesn't make sense. We've had
It's
this
been
story several
yeah.
times in animation and in live action over the past 10 years alone. And like, not 10, but whatever, more than 20. uh and people were like, I feel like somebody was like, I feel like if you not don't want the Phoenix story adapted and done right in live action, that you're not really a Marvel fan. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean,
I was trying to be polite. I did not mean that.
I
What
think
I meant is, get the fuck out of here.
X-Men. I think they've done a reasonable job with Phoenix in the times they've done it. It's I mean,
We
what
don't need more.
without introducing the larger cosmic scale of everything, like that's a they did it reasonably well, but um Jean just needs to get have more some more shit happen to her. How about that? But I think
Mm.
they're gonna soft reboot. They're soft introing the mutants right now. They didn't say she was a mutant, but that whole thing with the suppression tag and everything like that, that they're working to it. Um, so the Hulk cameo, loved it. I think Ruffalo, he's just kind of settled into like a very specific uh interpretation of the character. He's been doing it for so long. I think he can just switch it on whenever. Um, I've always liked I've liked his professorial bit. Um, and I liked his interaction with Peter. Um, and look, the hulking stuff was fun. It was a good time. Like Spider Man can't really he can't really beat him. All he can do is sort of like slow him down, so to speak. And there's a nice little bit which is foreshadowing later on things that were going to happen. But the foreshadowing of, hey, some people will remember if I touch the right part of their brain, right? And him being able to like convince the Hulk to not kill him because he was like, "I'm your friend," was very interesting. That's an interesting little part of the movie. So I did like the Hulk stuff. So we haven't been talking about Ned and MJ really, which I think we really have to, because part of the reason why I don't rate this movie as high is I really missed the interactions between Peter and MJ and Ned. And the fact that that's pretty much off the table for good story reasons. I'm not saying they don't make sense. It really kind of hit me how much I missed it. And so when we finally do get a bit of it later on in the movie, where Spidey, he's hanging out with the two of them, it feels right and it feels good. And they're trying to let you know, like Peter can't have that. He's Spider Man. That's not in the cards for him. Um, So that I think that may be part of what like didn't land for me as well, just because I really miss it. That being said, seeing them grown up and moving on and like having real lives was very cool, and I thought Zendaya was great. I know there's been a lot of
Absolutely.
I thought there's been a lot of shit talking about Zendaya and how much she's been and stuff. Fuck right off.
That's because she's talented and beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, stop the hate's got to stop. But she dialed into MJ, and this isn't the MJ we knew from the previous movies. She's similar, she's very close, but she doesn't remember Peter at all. And that conversation they have about the letter and why didn't he talk to them and so forth and so on, and where he pours his heart out and like I love you, and it's hard to live life without you, and she's like, I get why she would love you. I'm not that person. We've already seen this with Zoe Saldana, right? And Gamora. But I think this one's a little harder hitting because there was a lot more going on, I think, between MJ and that's their first love and everything, their young love, their first love. And knowing he sacrificed their relationship to keep her safe doesn't mean that she loves him now, right? And also, it makes the bit where Gene fucks around with his head and has him kiss him and everything, and makes that's what a whoa my. I was like, you know what, Gene, you ain't right. That's messed up.
That is, that is something an older Jean would do. Though.
That's so, it's so messed up. But no,
It's all actually it's more up Emma's alley.
I was like, that's don't do that. But no, their whole little um interactions as Peter, then they don't know him, and then as Spider-Man, and Ned's kind of like obsession with him, not obsession, but like he had his little board and everything, and the app and all that stuff. It's all good stuff. Like I really I missed it, and I wanted more of it in it. I don't know if I on are you feeling what I'm talking about, like that interaction,
Um,
like Peter by himself.
kind of.
And also I feel like it goes to the theme, which is where Aunt May's like, don't do this alone, right? Don't. And the fact that he did spend 4 years doing it alone and the toll it took on him, and then just that little interaction just made him lighter, made him like more vibe. I thought he was more vibrant as Peter after reconnecting with them. Uh, anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, what you were saying.
First of all, yeah, we didn't see a lot of it in this movie, but let's not forget that like MJ started to remember something, and that obviously for him it was natural. So yeah, we might have that again.
Mm,
I don't know, but I absolutely love the. I know that it was pushed aside for the story, and that's why I think that honestly, again, just for me, just like according to my taste, my preferences, I would love the first act of No Way Home, and this is the second act.
mm,
Uh, like this whole, I mean, the whole thing when he, when everybody forgets, and
mm,
then all of this happening, because this kind of is the movie that I wanted to see all along, the one about like implications of his identity being known, and the sacrifice that he makes and the repercussions of that.
right.
I love that, and the fact that we don't get to see the interactions. It's sad. It's kind of painful, like especially with the interactions that they do have, especially with the, seemingly at first when Peter and MJ fall into this back and forth that they used to. Uh, and then she reads the letter and she just tells him that she doesn't love him and she doesn't
Mm,
remember him at all. And uh, that is very good in terms of writing. That is very good, like very dramatic and tragic.
right.
I love that in the comics, love that in the movie. I hope that it like turns into something good in the end for everyone, but I do love the drama of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's and obviously I think in 3 or 4 years when we get another one of these, they're gonna try to advance the story more. As far as that goes, I think they're gonna make these with Tom Holland as long as he wants to make them. So that would be very cool. The last thing we didn't talk about it, but I think we have to. Probably, I hate to. It's weird to say this. The strongest character interaction on the whole movie. I can't believe I'm saying this. Is between Punisher and Spider-Man. God damn it! I loved every time that they were on screen together. I didn't think that this was going to work. How do you? We just saw the one last kill, right? We just saw that, and I think seeing it actually makes this all make sense. If you just watch Daredevil or you just watch the Punisher Netflix series, you would not really understand why these two are interacting with each other and how they're having the banter and rapport they're having. But having watched Daredevil Born Again season one and then One Last Kill, and this leads into it, and it's the same guy. Bernthal's playing the same guy, but his interactions with Spider-Man, and they have history, and they're talking about how he saved his life this one time, and for whatever reason, I believe that they've fought crime together, that they get on each other's fucking nerves, that he's always making, stopping him from murdering people, but he knows, he needs Frank sometimes, and Frank knows he needs Spidey sometimes, but they annoy the shit out of each other, but they really actually kind of like each other. And Frank is like, he's the end game, he's the end game of Spider-Man that just sticks to himself and never, never has connections. And he's allowed to act, right? Bernthal's allowed to act and really kind of show Frank as his broken ass self. That I loved it.
I could have like gotten this without the last kill because
Yeah.
I did not love that,
Yeah,
and I
it
would
was
have
hard.
been happy with just this.
But I would watch a whole movie with them. Like they were that good together. I would
You
watch them.
did, you just did.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Go watch it again.
Even down to the point where Frank's like, I'm gonna handle it my fucking way, and you know what that is. And so Pete's like, God damn it, I gotta save the day and worry about your ass trying to kill the person. Look, I'm trying to catch him, not
That's
kill him.
pretty much like Daredevil and Punisher, except
Yeah.
without all the whining on both sides. Oh my god, imagine the three of them.
It's oh my god. Now Daredevil and Spidey they be having a funny relationship sometimes too. Here's my deal about this whole thing. They bring it all together because Frank he be like he's reluctantly being a hero. He doesn't consider himself a hero. He's reluctantly being one because that's what Spider-Man does. He raises he's like a lesser version of Captain America. If you're with Cap on the field, you're gonna rise to the occasion, right? But he's trying to bring out the better angels and Frank, and he does for better or for worse, and MJ does in a bit too. So
his interactions with MJ are just
beautiful.
Absolutely.
I love that the Odyssey cast is like, we're gonna class this joint up with some silly banter that actually works. And when they finally, you get the final bit where he's in the hospital room and everything like that, you absolutely believe like that entire bit where he finds out what he looks like and he's like, oh, you're exactly what I expected. And there's a real love and camaraderie between them, that it's the breaking of the ice a little bit around Frank's heart. He can let somebody in. He can let Peter Parker in. He can let Spider-Man in. And Peter, he can be happy that he's continuously been believing this guy can be better, and it pays off. I loved it. Like I want a whole movie with
this movie actually did, I think, more to Frank's character than even that One Last Kill did, because when he shot Spider-Man and his reaction to this and him processing this and him being like relieved that he's alive and that he didn't die and he didn't kill him, essentially.
Right.
Another hero, like not another, but just somebody who he considers a hero. and a kid, by the way,
Yep.
compared to Punisher, he's still a kid. That is incredible, and that is probably the best development I've seen in regards to the Punisher.
Yep.
And because in Daredevil, yeah, he doesn't do much character growth. He does what he does, and what he does is pretty much one thing. In One Last Kill, I'm not even gonna like talk about that. But here he had a purpose, and his purpose is to be a supporting character, and to be a good supporting character that just gets the development in somebody else's story. But that is exactly how much Punisher I
Yeah.
need,
And I think
not more.
also for the casuals who just aren't watching the Disney Plus thing, really introduces the character in such a nice way that they might be interested in seeing him have another outing where that's
Unfortunately,
not the same guy
what they
though.
will
Shut up.
find when they go on Disney Plus
Yeah, yeah, you got
would be just a bloodbath.
like I'm like, don't let your kids watch that. Spider-Man webbed his mouth for a reason. Like y'all don't do that. He did not, and they also had him shooting at people that can't die, so that helps too, right? He shot at Hulk,
Yeah.
which I was like, that's a choice. Come, I don't care how big your gun is, that's a real choice there, player. They shoot him with tanks, but you gonna annoy him, okay? All right, do what you do, I guess. But they and their fight
Gotta be
sequence,
stubborn. Stupid, but stubborn.
yeah, I don't want to say he has a death wish, but seriously, and also their fight sequences were so cool. Like it was just very cool. Like this, I think that may be the thing about the movie. This movie, I think, is gonna move. Is gonna like make big box office. It's just fucking cool. Like it's cool in the way that like if you're a kid and you saw this movie, it's a bit scary at times, but a lot of it is just Spider-Man doing cool shit, you know? And he's, you know, when the whole bit with the damage control actually being bad, here's a big fucking surprise. The government bad. Oh
Shocker.
no. Yeah, exactly. The shocker gauntlets in particular. It's just, I think there's no way this doesn't make $1 billion. It's just too good. It's too appealing. It's 4 quadrant. Like this is you're gonna have a little bit for everybody, you know. And it's got Sad Peter. What else? I mean, what else do you want, man? Like, just go. I'm gonna go see it again. You're gonna go see it again, and we're gonna tell our
Hopefully.
yeah, we're gonna tell people in our lives it's worthwhile because people know that we're the comic book people, and if something's worth watching, they'll ask us. This is gonna look if as a lead in to Doomsday, good idea because this shit is gonna get this shit. I think is gonna get people back in like, hey, the MCU's back, cool. So anyway, we could go on, but we're not going to go and see this movie. It's good. That being said, that is all of our everything we had to talk about this week. Big week. You can see for as long as this podcast is today. But we probably missed something, or you want to tell us something nice, complain about something, troll us, give us some props, whatever the case may be.
Argue if you're brave.
I mean, if you must, we may or may not care about what you have to say. Well, no, we do. We want y'all to come down there and interact. So you know what to do. Get down there to the comment section and leave your thoughts. And of course, you can always hit us up. It's whoops, where it is. Wrong ones. Supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. Blurred_force1 on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see all the content that we put out on Blurred Force 1. And of course, couldn't do this by myself. Besides, all of her Reed Richards knowledge, she does know X-Men a lot, like you guys don't even realize. So when she was saying stuff about Jean Grey, she wasn't just talking. She knows her stuff. So Polly, where can they reach you on social media?
Well, it's on Threads, obviously, core_mix, but now it's also on Patreon on core_mix, and that's where I'm gonna be writing my long reads, which you can support if you want to. They're all free, they're all available, and I'm probably gonna like spice it up with different forms of content, but we'll see about that. Anyway, go check it out. And on Instagram, again, core_mix. What a surprise! And there is a big collection of my old long reads on Tumblr. Same name.
All right, you guys know what to do. Go show some love and definitely check out that Patreon. So, my gosh, this episode, if you can believe it, 239 of the Supercast. It was a crazy time. Superhero Summer has not been playing around at all. And we got plenty more coming. X-Men 97 continues, Batman Cape Crusader, My Adventures with
Which we're gonna
Superman.
watch.
Yeah, we are totally going to watch this week.
We're still gonna watch it.
And we also have coming up at the end of August, which August will be tomorrow. We got was it Lanterns? Lots of stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to be excited about. We're loving it as fans of superhero stuff, and we hope you are too. So, with that said, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace. Oh, where's the outro?